Let's talk about luck. You know that mysterious force that seems to shape so much of our lives? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the science behind it and ask a pretty big question. Is it a skill you can actually learn?
So that really gets us to the heart of it, right? Is luck just this random lightning strike? Something that just happens to you, completely out of your hands? Or is it something you can actively make for yourself? The answer, well, it might not be what you think.
Okay, here's a really powerful way to think about this whole thing. Too many of us see life as a slot machine. You just pull a lever and hope for the best. The outcome feels totally random. But a much, much better way to look at it is like a game of poker. Now think about it. You can't control the cards you're dealt, that's for sure. But a skilled player can totally win with a bad hand, and a newbie can lose with a great one. It's all about how you play the game.
All right, so if we're going to get luckier, we first have to understand what it is we're actually dealing with. So for this first part, let's break down what good fortune really is. You know, the usual definition of luck is pretty straightforward. We say something's lucky when it feels like it came from outside of us, something external, unpredictable, and totally beyond our control. And this is exactly where things start to get really interesting. Check out this quote from researcher Carla Star. She says, "The problem is that we tend to give up our sense of control way too soon. We blame a bad outcome on bad luck when there were probably things we could have done. We make that shift from, I can fix this, to, oh well, it's out of my hands. And in doing that, we just give away our power."
Let's take timing, for instance. We always say someone was just in the right place at the right time. That feels completely random, doesn't it? But here's the twist. Human psychology actually makes timing surprisingly predictable, all thanks to some of our built-in biases.
For example, get this. An analysis of European figure skating championships found that the very first skater only had a 3% chance of winning. But the final skater, they had a 14% chance. So what's going on there? It's something called the recency effect. Our brains subconsciously give more weight to the thing we saw last, so to the judges, that final performance just feels more vivid and impressive. And this isn't just about skating. The same psychological quirk pops up everywhere, from singing competitions to job interviews, and yeah, even dog shows. The last candidate to be interviewed often has a real statistical advantage. So, little pro tip for you. If you ever get to choose your interview slot, you know what to do. Go last. Here's another one of these powerful little principles that shapes our luck. It's called the mere exposure effect. It's a really simple idea that goes way back to our evolutionary days. The more you see something and nothing bad happens, the more you start to trust it and like it. It's why a song you don't like at first can grow on you. Familiarity creates comfort, and comfort creates likability. So, okay, knowing about these hidden forces is one thing, but how do we actually use this stuff to our advantage? How can we start to actively stack the deck in our own favor? We usually think of something like attractiveness as pure genetic luck. You either have it or you don't. But you know what? Research shows that's not even close to the whole story. As much as half of how attractive people see you as is based on something else entirely, factors that are completely within your control. So what does that mean in real life? Well, it breaks down into 3 key areas. First, your fitness, just taking care of your physical health. Second, your presentation and clothing, putting some thought into how you show up. And third, your social skills, how you interact with the world. I mean, these things can dramatically influence how lucky you get in social situations.
And it goes way beyond appearance. So-called lucky people share a whole set of habits that consistently create opportunities. They build diverse social networks, which exposes them to new ideas and people. They stay super curious. They're resilient, so they treat failures like lessons, not dead ends. They show up consistently. There's that mere exposure effect again. And yeah, they're willing to take smart, calculated risks.
A huge part of this is building confidence. And confidence isn't some kind of magical trait you're born with. It's just a shift in focus. It's about training your brain to pay more attention to the potential reward of doing something instead of getting paralyzed by the potential risk of what might go wrong. Okay, so now we've arrived at the central, most powerful idea in this whole explainer. It's a little bit of a paradox, but honestly, it's the key to unlocking your own good fortune. Here it is. The single most effective way to become lucky is to operate as if luck doesn't exist at all. To believe that every single success is something you have to create entirely on your own. So why on earth does that work? It's because when you stop waiting around for a lucky break, you also stop making excuses. Your motivation to work harder, to push through setbacks, and to take full responsibility for what happens, it just skyrockets. You start driving the very behaviors that create opportunities.
And that brings us right back to where we started. It's time to stop treating life like that slot machine, passively hoping for a jackpot. It's time to start seeing it as a game of poker, where you actively play the hand you're dealt with skill, with strategy, and with persistence. Ultimately, you can't control all the variables. You can't control your genes or where you were born, but you can control your actions, your mindset, and your strategy. So the final question isn't about the cards you have in your hand. It's about how you choose to play them.